All right, I think we're live.
Okay, we are live. Yay, I'm so excited. So my name is Lydia Bagarozza. I'm a PR specialist. I've been doing this for a very long time, about 7 years now. And right now my sweet spot is that I work with coaches, mentors, women in the spirituality space and eco-conscious brands. And yeah, I just find it my absolute mission to work with women. Spirituality space and eco-conscious. There's a little bit of feedback. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. But anyway, so my diverse professional background. So I used to actually work with Grammy Award-winning artists in New York City. And I worked with like huge names like the Beach Boys, James Bay, Etta James releases. Yeah, and so I transitioned into lifestyle, beauty, and fashion PR. And that was really where I was working with more boutique brands and really honed my craft. So yeah, my wellness love came actually a few years ago. So I've just been in this space now for a little over a year, and my past press that I've secured for my clients have included NPR, Self, Forbes, Mind Body Green, Refinery 29, and then podcasts, which we are talking today, Your Own Magic, NPR Morning Show, Chakra Girls. So just kind of going on names, but basically some of the biggest podcast names out there. I'm going to let Bridget introduce herself, and then we're going to chat about podcasts today.
Hey, this is so fun. Also, for those of you who are watching this, Lydia and I are friends that met online, as many of us like meet each other in these spaces. And we've really been following each other's journeys for the last probably year or so. So a little bit about me. My name is Bridget Aileen Cisco. I'm the founder of Exalted Publishing House, where I help entrepreneurs write their books. I have a talk show, podcast, kind of go back and forth with the names, but I've interviewed over 50 individuals who are TEDx speakers, who are authors, who are entrepreneurs, who are nonprofit founders. And my business is all about getting you featured and being a standout figure in this world of the online space. So I work with female entrepreneurs who are typically spiritually based, and that's where Lydia and I kind of have this beautiful crossover. We have some very, very similar clients. And we're really excited to talk about this topic in particular, because this is where we kind of blend what we both do. I love to help people rock their voice, and I call this rocking the mic, because this is like the biggest fear for so many people. So I'm going to be bringing that into this workshop that we're doing today and also in July. And Lydia is going to be bringing in her incredible PR background and PR knowledge to help you know what you actually need to pitch podcasts, you know, how to position yourself as a brand. Just so much exciting things. So if you are here live, tell us you're here, like say hi, tell us where you're from, all that jazz. If you're watching the replay, also let us know that you're watching the replay.
Yes. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions about like how to get on podcasts, or maybe what your goals are for this year. So our goal from this workshop is for people to get 10 plus podcasts interviews in 2021. So I know that's like a bold claim, but you can totally do it. It is, I mean, I've seen like amazing things from my clients, and if I can do it, so can you. We're here to help you guys learn. Hello from Brooklyn. Hi, Trini. Abigail, hello.
Abigail.
It's so funny too, because like, I don't know, I've been watching Bridget online for how many years now, and she just slays with like, you need to know your core messaging. Like, I just, all the things like, this is what you bring to the table. This is how you interview. This is how I interview people. Like, it's just been so amazing. So both of us have kind of come together on this space, and we're just like, hold on, I think there's something here. Like, I think we can like merge our geniuses and come up with this badass workshop. So anyway, I'm gonna stop like going on and on about it. But okay, so the benefits of being featured, which are really amazing, and things that I've seen from personally from my clients, and I'm talking like clients that have had zero to clients that have been in the media for a while. So this goes for literally everybody. So you can maximize your press by strengthening your following. You can gain new press features. You can even gain new client leads. Like, these are like big things. You can be seen as a thought leader within your industry, gain credibility and trust amongst your audience members. I have a client that I got on Forbes back in like and mind you, she can do this herself. This is all organic outreach. This is organic. So I do run also a course, Be Your Own Publicist. I'm not going to talk about today, but yeah, like I've seen real tangible results. But one of the amazing things about being on these shows and things is that you can like start your conversations by being like, oh, I was on Your Own Magic podcast alongside my favorite wellness heads in the industry. Like you can be alongside amazing company. So you're in front of like the exact audience that you want. And it's just such an incredible way that you can really just like blow up your brand that doesn't have to do with the Facebook, the Instagram, the algorithms, the constant posting and like freaking out. There's other ways to do this. So as we're on Facebook, I'm like, there's other ways. But,
I have to even jump in and talk about like podcasts are fun AF because for a number of reasons. First of all, you are finally asked about like your full story. And if you think about social media in general, typically we're sharing like bits and pieces of our story, right? Maybe like the illness that we had or the challenge that we overcame or like the transition from a 9 to 5 into something else. But typically it's really small bits and pieces. The reason I love podcasts, not only as someone who is on podcasts, who's interviewed a shit ton of people, but also from the perspective of you finally get to share your entire story. And let's face it, at the base of business, it is storytelling. We connect through each other's stories. Like you will connect with Lydia and I through our stories, through our experience and our journey. So you get to share your entire story. Like, this is cool. This is really, really cool. And I'm curious for those watching and listening, have you already been on podcasts? Have you gotten to share the story? Like, where are you at in this world of sharing on podcasts? Let's hear.
Yeah. Please let us know if you have any questions too. And another thing that I wanted to add about this is like, how many times do you like, I mean, this is just, but how many times do you think about buying from somebody, maybe a coach or a mentor, and you start looking them up? And the first thing I do is I start looking up their interviews because I want to get a feeling of like who they are. Like, do I actually gel with them? Do I want to buy from them? Because sometimes you can't see that through social and through just like posts or, you want to hear the whole story. Like the people that I've personally bought from, and this is from a sales perspective, are people that I really resonate with their story. They've been where I want to be, where I have been, and they're going to where I want to go. So I think that's really important to remember. And that's just from like a sales perspective. Now, if we want to go a media perspective, being on podcasts is incredible for your audience, as we've said, incredible for your growth, your credibility, and also you're able to get those logos on your website, be seen as more serious. And not to mention the ripple effect. So as a publicist, I've noticed this like ripple effect is a real thing. So if you're on bigger shows, you get to meet those hosts, you become their friends, then they know people that are popular and famous and whatever in your area, and they introduce you to somebody else. Or once you start to pitch yourself, people will come to you and they'll start saying like, oh, I saw you on this, like I would love to have you on my show. So there is a serious ripple effect here that comes from all areas. It comes from the host, it comes from the people that you meet, it comes from like the other side of them wanting you to be on their show because they heard you and they're like, holy shit, this person is amazing. Also, what I love about podcasts in this space that's different from editorial press, although I think you should really have both at some point in your journey, is that you get to really talk about your offers in podcasts, which you don't get to do in editorial. So there's show notes. So you get to maybe offer a discount code or talk about at the very end, like, okay, I'm actually coming out with this if anyone's interested. Whereas in interviews on editorial, it's kind of more up to the editor. It's kind of like if they want to write a story featuring you, they're going to talk about probably your journey or maybe about your business, but they might not focus on your offers right now. Or they might ask for maybe expert commentary, meaning that they may say like, I'm writing a story on meditation. I'd love to get a quote from you. And that's not where, of course, you can get a link back to your site, but you wouldn't be able to talk about your offers. So podcasts are really freaking good for sales. I'm seeing some questions here. I love podcasts. I've had some of the most amazing conversations. Yes, Abigail, some of the most amazing conversations. And I am a junkie for podcasts. I know that Bridget is too. And so, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I learn. I learn too from like hearing stories and other people's experiences and journeys. So I think that they're so important in that as well. Taman, if a person wants to start a podcast show, okay, this might be for you, Bridget. Found out but not very clear yet regarding how to start. What advice would you give? Ooh, okay. So here's two things. I'll start with mine and then I'm going to give it to Bridget because I actually don't know like the back end. But in terms of starting, your core messaging is super important. And this is something that both Bridget and I teach differently, but mine is more about like brand positioning. And that is the one feedback that I get all the time from my clients in my group program where I teach them how to pitch, or clients that I just work with. It's so funny. I'll have like kickoff calls with them at the beginning. And by the end of the conversation, they're like, okay, I am going to use this now for my messaging, and I'm going to change what I call myself, my credit line, all those different things. That's a credit line. So like if you call yourself like a PR specialist for me or a public speaking mentor for Bridget, like that's what you call yourself. And so all of those things are so important in starting any sort of endeavor like podcasts or even being featured or anything in your business. So it's kind of an all-encompassing, amazing thing that we'll be doing in this workshop as well. We'll be really going deep into your core messaging. But my biggest suggestion is get that down. Like, who exactly are you speaking to? Who do you want to attract? What is it about your business that you bring to the table or your knowledge? And then I'm going to let Bridget talk about this too, because I can go on forever. And then she also understands the back end of podcasts and like how to start them and put them online.
I'm just gonna like move off of your first point there too, having the core message, and this goes for anyone. So this doesn't only go for you if you're starting a show. Of course, you need to have a very specific core message because people need to know what your show's about when they think of you. Like that should be immediate, just like in your business. So this is where I want to bring this to everyone. When you are pitching to podcasts, when you have a business, you need to have like your thing. You need to be known for something. You need to claim it, expert status. You literally own it. And that is your message that you take with you onto podcasts. So that might be the title of the show. The same thing goes if you have a show, because if I'm looking to pitch myself or have some of my clients pitch themselves to your show, we need to know what it's about and we need to know who your audience is to see if it's actually a good fit. Because the coolest part about podcasts, and this is part of the workshop and everything that we talk about, is that it is a win-win for both. When we are just promoting ourselves on social media, it's just like me trying to like get new clients, Lydia trying to get her clients. But when we actually come together, we're leveraging the power of both networks, because you as the show host is going to share that you're interviewing this person. And then me as the person who's being interviewed gets to share that I'm going to be on your podcast. So now our audiences are connecting and combining. And this is mandatory. It is so that's probably not the right word, but this is cool. It is essential. It is like the best part of is the best part about podcasts. Like we have to think smarter in our businesses and they're fun. One other tip for you, Tamina, if you're starting the podcast is to do it simply. You can use Anchor. Anchor is a free site where you can upload your podcast. You can even add sponsored ads if you want to start to monetize it and make some money. Like, woo-woo. It's just really simple. It's really user-friendly. Maybe you get an editor, but just start small and see how you can get there.
Yes. Oh my God. So crazy. We were talking about this today. Hold on. Okay. Haha. I pulled this morning. Maybe I should read it out loud. Hold on. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Like, how fitting is this right now? So fitting. Anyway, my friend got this for me from, I think, Target. It's just like affirmations for business owners. But anyway, whoa, went right off topic. Okay, so I'd love to hear like more questions that you guys may have, even like the nitty gritty. So basically what we're doing in today and what we want to do in our workshop on July 22nd, it will be at 5:30 p.m. EST. It's only $40, which is like super cheap for what we're doing and what we're offering. We also have freebies that are super valuable. I'm giving pitch samples out, which I like never ever do. And then Bridget has an amazing course. She also has lives that are available. So these are really like it's just ridiculous. Like we're giving away so much. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know where I was just starting at. Oh, but the whole point of this is we're teaching you, and we want to teach you how to land podcasts like a pro and rock your damn show. So I don't know if I'm allowed to curse in here. I'm sorry. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to actually land them, how to position yourself, what you need in order to reach out, and how to do it in like the proper way that's going to get you the podcast, get you booked basically. And then Bridget's going to come in and show you how to also help with your core messaging. So we both are teaching that in different areas because it's so important, and I can't even explain that. So mine's going to be coming from more of a PR standpoint. Hers is going to be coming from more of a public speaking standpoint. And then we're going to show you how to rock it. Like it's going to be amazing. And so you feel fully confident. And that is like probably the number one thing that I hear from my clients is that they don't feel confident, or they're super nervous, or like they're not sure like about their core messaging, which is funny because you do your business every day, but when it comes to explaining it or talking about it, you're like, I don't know, I like pizza. Like seriously, it's so funny. Amen. Thanks, ladies. Oh my God, you're so welcome. If you have any more questions, Tamana, feel free to message in the comments. We are here for you guys today. But yeah, do you want to talk about anything else? And then I'll kind of just go into too, like what you can do after you get press features. Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little idea that just came to me as you were saying that. So Lydia's background, and she has extensive knowledge in how to teach you how to do this for yourself. Because as she said, anyone can be their own publicist now. Like literally, she has a course on that.
Literally.
And that is the power of this time. But if we don't feel confident in our message, if we don't have the understanding or the knowledge of how this works in the back end, we tend to psych ourselves out. And then on top of it, oh my gosh, we're about to go on a show and talk about ourselves. I'm going to have to talk about my journey, my story, all that jazz. So there is some fear that comes up with speaking. And a lot of us have this fear in general. So a little thing I want you all to leave here with today is I want you to write in the comments 3 titles that you might use for a podcast. So a lot of times the host will ask you, what do you want to talk about on the show? And typically they'll use this as their title of the show. So I want for you in the comments now to write what you would title your podcast episode with a host. That way, when you leave this training today, and we're going to talk to you in a moment about what you can do after being featured, because it doesn't end at the show. You actually leverage that media to go further. But I want you in the comments to write some of the titles or some of the things that you would focus on in a podcast interview, so that when you leave here today, you are already equipped and you already have some, you're already starting to think about what it is that you want to talk about. Because this is the biggest question. What do I talk about on my show? What would I do? So let's have you do that now. And then Lydia's going to talk about what we can do after we're featured.
I'm going to continue going with this. I actually love where you're going. So hold on, guys. We got more stuff for you. Yes. Oh my God, this is so big. So when we talk about those like titles or kind of how we want to name our podcast show, that also goes hand in hand with your positioning. So if you think about your brand story, the best way that I do it actually with my clients sometimes is I'll tell them like, write down a bio, a brand bio, so a small bio, and then write down your own personal bio. Take a look at those as somebody from an outside perspective. What are those highlights? What are you like super interested about? Actually, so interesting. So I had my course Zoom call yesterday, and I am reviewing their pitches, and one of them, I'm like, there's something missing here. And we ended up going deeper into her story, and there was something so amazing that she forgot to like mention, because it was the pivotal moment in her career. Pivotal. That's important. Whatever that pivotal moment is, your why, that honestly usually drives your brand positioning. So yes, sometimes it's so easy to just be like, this is what I do. And it's like, okay, but what was the story? What got you there? Let's get deep into that. And that why is probably going to be your title. So like, I came from here to here, or like, what is that transformation? What is that big wow factor where you're like, holy shit, that's amazing. And I want to learn that. Try to put that into few sentences, and that will also help you in terms of like your core messaging, all the things. So I invite you to think about that today, because that is so big. And what I also want to mention too, something that I haven't really touched on yet, is that these like major shows that you are interested in, these like huge shows, they are possible for you too if you've never been on a podcast before. I've seen it all the time. I am a publicist. I mean, of course, there's areas of like, be realistic, but at the same time, I have seen people that they have zero press trail and they get on major shows because their story is so big. And it's really, really cool. Yeah. And so I invite you also to like shoot for the moon. Like if you are interested in these like really big podcasts and you're not sure, and you like here's where the confidence thing comes in, and the imposter syndrome and the bullshit that we tell ourselves. And like Bridget can go so deep into this in such an elegant way that I can't, but but like imposter syndrome is serious, and it can totally creep in for podcast interviews. And I'm just gonna let Bridget like go off on this because I know she has something I see it.
I'm just laughing to myself. So one of the podcasts I love to listen to is called the Lifestylist Podcast with Luke Story. There's a million downloads, whatever it is. And he was actually saying that he loves to have people on his show who have never been on shows before. Like he's had hundreds and hundreds
this is
of
what
episodes.
I mean.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter if you've never been on a show before. And this is where just kind of claiming who you are, rooting back into your why. And I always like to say, our voices are this vessel and vehicle for change in this world. And our why really does the same thing. So if we can root into the why, like why we're actually doing this, our story of why we are doing this in the first place, what got us started. And for me, it was illness. For me, it was Lyme disease, not feeling like I had a voice, but feeling like I had a story to share. And now I'm like, gosh, I got to make sure I do this for others. So if you can do that for yourself and remember and hype yourself up, like be your own best hype girl, you can get on any show that you want to. It's really like dream big. We're dreamers here. We're manifesting people. We love this world. So dream big. That's all.
Oof, I'm getting chills right now, which is my confirmation for like, this is so true. And yeah, like it's so interesting too. Like anytime I listen to a show, my favorite shows are always the transformation, the why. And it just it really humanizes people as well. So when you're talking about like, say a training, like, okay, PR can be really dry, right? It can just be like, okay, we're going to learn how to craft an email, and then we're going to send it to people, and then we're just going to try to get you on the media, and like, okay, fine. But what's my why? My why is that I absolutely love wellness. I love women in this space. I love being able to push out some light into the media, because there's so much dark out there. And this is from somebody who is a publicist. It's so funny. Like I work in the media and I'm like, oh my God, it's such a gross place sometimes. And it is, but you guys all have something amazing to share. I've seen people in this group where I'm just like chills every single day. And like, this is who needs to be on podcasts, who needs to be in the media. And the world is changing. Okay. Like podcasts are at the forefront of this type of like community, which is amazing. And editorial is coming there. It's on its way, and TV as well. But like, these are the types of stories that are starting to get bigger. You're starting to notice that on your favorite podcasts, they're diving deeper into manifestation and mindset, in addition to, and in kind of interweaved with business. Same thing with, if you wanted to talk about editorial, but same thing, there's different columns popping up all the time on like, I mean, this is crazy. This blew my mind. Lulu's, like the like fast fashion company, they have a blog now, and a lot of it has to do with like women entrepreneurs, which I was like, what? Yeah. And like all of this space, and it's just so cool. So anyway, you guys are at the forefront. This is such an amazing workshop that you can learn. And also like, even if you don't implement it today, like you have the replay. And like we mentioned before, that brand positioning is the biggest piece, so important. It will help you with so many areas of your business. It will help you with your website and your socials. It'll help you with speaking with people. It'll help you on lives like today. But yeah.
And I think about podcasts as like foundation. So a lot of my clients want to be featured on bigger and bigger stages. Like they want to be at the summit, they want to be at the TED Talk, they want to basically speak on stages around the world. And to be able to speak on a podcast, I see any kind of opportunity like this as practice. And practice and consistency and repetition are what's going to change you, your business, your life, and get your message heard, because that's the practice of repetition and mantra. I'm a yogi. I can go into that, probably go into it in the workshop. But if you are looking to get on bigger and bigger stages, you want your voice to be heard, I highly recommend that you at least start on the base level of podcasts. You learn about how to position yourself. You learn how to articulate your core message, to articulate what you do in a very simple, understandable way to your clients and to a whole new community, and then maybe sell something on the back of it. Like, it is a win. I love podcasts.
It is such a freaking win. I'm like buzzing off of what you're saying. And what I also want to mention is anyone can be a publicist, which is like, I know I'm very much an industry disruptor in that. I'm like, anyone could do my job, but anybody can, as long as you learn the tools, you can totally do it. You can pitch yourself. And then also what I want to mention is you can pay to be on a podcast, but it's really expensive. I'm talking thousands. So yeah, this 2-hour workshop teaches you basically how, and then you can get on these amazing shows for free, for literal free. This is organic exposure. That's what I do. People pay me as a service, but I gain organic exposure. So I just want to emphasize that, because not everybody understands what PR is sometimes. And I always forget that because it's second nature for me, but you basically are the liaison. You can pitch, well, if you do it for yourself, you go directly to the podcast. We're going to teach you who to reach out to, how, what to do. And you're able to just book yourself. Like, you are literally able to book yourself. So I'm going to kind of go into like the things that you can do after you're featured and how this can really be maximized for your business. So number one is creating a press page. It just gives you a lot of credibility. You can put this on your Instagram. You can put this on your Facebook. I think there's probably a column on Facebook or something that you can add that somewhere. Yeah, but you definitely can in the highlights on Instagram. I know this. And then on your website, that media page that you've always wanted, you can do that. Yeah, and it looks really good for your clients too, because when people are starting to vet you, they're interested in potentially working with you. They'll be like, oh my God, they have media. Click on that, and then they can listen, hear more about your story. Again, you're basically selling. Also, yeah, you are selling when you sleep, because people get to hear that interview anytime they want. They don't need to hop on a call with you and like hear about you and get to meet you. They've already met you. It's out there, right? Again, I want to ask, like, if anyone has any questions about podcasts, getting on podcasts, getting featured, landing it, anything at all in this realm. I'm also a PR specialist. We have Bridget here who does public speaking. She's a public speaking mentor. She is a host of a show, a talk show, and a podcast. So if you have questions for us individually or this topic, ask it. But basically, we're just talking about right now what you can do to maximize features after you get them. So number one is that press page that I just spoke about. Number two is you're able to tell your audience about it, which is amazing. And this is what some of my clients do really well that I'm always impressed with, is they get on a show. These are all the things that can happen, okay? A lot of the shows will actually make graphics and they'll post it on their Instagram. So then you have people coming to you from these like really huge accounts, okay? So sometimes they'll post and put it on their story. Sometimes they'll just put it on their story. Regardless, you're getting a totally different audience that is catered to you, that is your audience. Then some of my clients, what they'll do is they'll go nuts and like talking about it. They'll send out a newsletter. They'll put it on their Instagram. They'll put it on their Facebook. They'll start actual workshops with, I have been featured here. And that just adds so much credibility. I can't even tell you how much numbers drive up when you just talk about it. Okay. When you just talk about it, people are like, I'm sorry, you were on my favorite show? Okay, I'm listening now. So it's just amazing how that can help you. Also, save all your press wins on social, which I kind of already said about the press page. Reference when you're introducing. And then another thing, which I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, is you can leverage these press features for bigger shows. And I do this personally. So like sometimes when I reach out to a big show, and I know my client's been on a few already, I will send out and be like, hi, I'd like to introduce so and so who's been featured on X, Y, and Z. This is what she's about. Is she a fit for your show? So I've opened up that conversation already with showcasing these other shows they've been on. And another thing, a lot of podcast hosts, not all, definitely not all, and it's funny, some of the bigger shows won't even ask, but some of them will ask like, what shows you've been on before, so they can get an understanding of like how you interview, and they can hear an example. So yeah, I kind of just went on a tangent, but all of these things are so important to think about. We are almost at time. Holy crap.
Talk forever.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, we could literally talk about this for, should we start a podcast show? Actually, I will be on Bridget soon. Yeah. Yeah, so check her out. But anyway, I just kind of want to close this out with saying that we are so pumped about this workshop. I know it's going to be incredible. We're going through all the things. So again, we're going to teach you how to land the show, what to do, brand positioning, how to speak, how to deliver. We're going to throw in some mindset. Oh, and Bridget mentioned that she wants to put people into breakout rooms so you can actually practice, which is like, holy crap.
We have to practice. I always say that speaking is not a spectator sport. Like you can't really sit on the lines and the sidelines and figure it out. You have to just like get in the game and try it. So we will be actually practicing speaking. So if you are nervous about that, you should definitely join.
Yes. Oh my God. The number one thing that I have the most resistance towards is always a thing that I need to work on the most. So, and I feel like that goes, yeah, right. Always. I'm like, oh, fine. And then you do it and it's never scary. It always helps you out in the long run. So, yeah, fear is not a thing. It's not allowed. What day is the workshop? Hi, Trini. So the workshop is July 22nd. Is it in the link? Yeah. Okay. So the link to, the Eventbrite page is actually in the comment section, or sorry, in the top. So feel free to click on that and it will take you to the page, but it's at 5:30 p.m. It is a 2-hour workshop. You will not only get the replay afterwards, but you'll also get freebies. Everything is listed in there. If you have any questions, slide into my DMs, slide into Bridget's. We're here for you guys. Yeah, I hope to see you there. And it's such a low ticket offer too. Like we're doing so much and it's $40.
I think this is probably a course in itself. So maybe I don't know. I feel like magic's coming from us. So maybe there's more down the line.
Yes, there's definitely more down the line. Oh my God. Okay, so we're at 31 minutes. I don't want to go anymore. Bridget, up to you. I'm going to let you close it out.
So basically, end of story. If you are the female entrepreneur who considers yourself a spiritual entrepreneur, maybe conscious, maybe wellness based, you're a health coach, life coach, business coach, and you're really looking for future ways to elevate your business, increase your brand visibility, get credibility, and practice actually speaking, this is the workshop for you. Lydia and I, you obviously know we'll have a lot of fun together, everyone, because we're already like, I can feel the energy of it. It's going to be a great time. You'll be able to practice. We're going to have you leave with basically everything that you need to know to pitch yourself to these podcasts and rock the show. It's really as simple as that. So enter our worlds. I'll see you at the workshop.
Yes. Thank you. So good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Again, if you've watched the replay, let us know. Slide into our DMs. We're here for you. Bye, everyone.
See you later.